the referee today is Chris Kavanagh, who once sent off Declan Rice, showing him a second yellow for delaying a restart. Today's VAR is Darren England. The latest portion of this cross-capital rivalry is served with a garnish of high jeopardy. A critical game for those eyeing either coronation or salvation. Arsenal win takes them closer to glory and keeps their fate in their hands alone. West Ham don't win, they stay at the bottom three. Fear their grim prospects could be bleaker still by tomorrow.
Yeah,
high stakes game today, Jim. Really looking forward to this one for both teams. For the Gunners, they've had some big games lately. They've come out on the right side of them, still on top of the Premier League, Champions League final. Credit to them for that. And for West Ham, they know today that they've got to get all facets of their game spot on. The pressure, how high they want to push up the field. When they get that big moment at the top end, someone's got to take it.
So they're leaving Calafiori on the deck. Sochek. The free kick for West Ham United, who had a desperate weekend last weekend. They defeated Brentford, hyped by the three teams around them all winning. Results of back into the drop zone, having been out of it for 3 weeks. Only a win today will take them back out of it tonight. Due for the relatively central position. Will play wide on that left-hand side for West Ham. The former Arsenal man, Marnos knocking forward here. Bowen able to turn and narrow Wan-Bissaka. Most recall has been to supply a little bit of height.
Yeah, I can fully understand that. I think, Manson, not the biggest goalkeeper either. He's going to come under pressure from those Arsenal corners and wide free kicks.
It's an Arsenal throw. Their situation now very straightforward after Man City's draw at Everton on Monday. The Gunners beat 3 bottom 6 teams over the next fortnight. They will be Premier League champions for the first time since 2004. Know that anything less may not be enough, because if they don't win here and City beat Palace on Wednesday, the Gunners will be back down in second going into their final 2 games.
Trossard,
Gyökeres, Declan Rice. Reminded of his former loyalties with some boos from the Hammer support.
Yeah, I actually think that he'd have liked that ball from Ben White just rolled back to him a little bit. Just think here, watch Declan Rice in support, kind of knocks it to him. Arsenal midfield man might like to look onto that, just see if he could test the Manson early on.
Well, West Ham have beaten Arsenal in each of the last 2.
Yep, we'll see how they fare.
Under pressure from Gyökeres. Space in the midfield for Lewis Skelly. White, Rice. Edmondson.
Hands actually from the goalkeeper, even though under no pressure, but there was like a ping in that one across that 6-yard line. Just make sure that he hangs on to it. Yeah, and again, I think you can see West Ham playing like an away team today. Really can. Making sure that when they lose possession, Sean Nuno's been drilling on these boys all week. When you lose possession, you've got to recover very quickly. You have to get back into some sort of solid shape immediately. Absolutely each and every one of them. And then they can turn the ball over occasionally. They've got pacey boys up front that just might go make something happen. But in the main, I think we'll see Arsenal with the ball at their feet most of the time.
Saliba. So working it back towards Saliba. Into Gyökeres detailing himself up against the Dinos Mavropanos. Around the corner. And there's turn. Turning both ways. West Ham looking long for the run of Wan-Bissaka. The ball did him few favours.
Yeah, that's sensible defensive work there from Gabriel. Take no risks. Want to try and poke that one back towards the goalkeeper. Just deal with it, knock it up the line.
So the two sides met here. There were 7 goals before half-time. Still racing into a 4-0 lead. West Ham pulling 2 back, and then Saka made it 5-2 just before the break. The Premier League first half's ever seen more goals than that. I think the first 7 minutes suggest that we're unlikely to see a repeat today. Teams just feeling their way into this game. Should approach from the back. Skelly able to turn in the midfield. Calafiori. Oh, he's made an excellent run. Trossard has found it, and then Calafiori's efforts deflected over the bar. First really incisive pass of the game.
What a ball that is. Leandro Trossard, that is absolutely wonderful, this ball. Calafiori drops the ball off. Now he disappears in behind Todibo. That's about that outside of the boot. I actually think Calafiori just labours a little bit before he gets onto that. If he's onto that a fraction quicker, perhaps makes a bigger call. I think he knocks that one in. He's just gone to the outside of his boot. Something a little more positive there, but wonderful play.
Man United on the opening weekend of the season. He hasn't scored since Ricardo Calafiori. Might have done there. First Declan Rice corner swung in and brilliantly parried. Magnificent stop then. Straight for the goal, I think. Getting to West Ham's rescue there. Arsenal with 3 or 4 bites of the cherry. Still going with Eze. And they get another corner out of it. Some stop that one, wasn't it? Some of them getting close up. Stop. Gyökeres, I think, with that initial header. Then he follows that one up again. They say there, he got over on that challenge.
Again.
He decided to stay on his feet, try and take the shot. Gyökeres there, unmarked at the back post. Lots of pushing and shoving going on. Trossard was sorry with the header. Wow.
Mombasa.
Fine goal, maybe by her Edmondson. Twice coming close. Now, all of a sudden, in a position to apply some very significant early pressure. Watching Gabriella makes a darting near post run and he got to
መጣባቸው
just got a bit too much on that. Nicely floated in there with this one from Bukayo Saka. Gabriel makes that run towards the corner of the 6-yard box, gets there first, but just gets a bit too much on it. Can't keep it down. Start the Gunners. Really important for Westham. That ball from Disasi down the line into the channel. Doesn't really give the chance too much hope. Got to make sure that with all that pace that some of the lower Castellanos possess, delivery up to those, so he's got to give them a bit of a chance, a reasonable chance of getting on to the end of something.
Said Arsenal have already had 6 attempts without reply. So a tangible show for the two-thirds possession that they've enjoyed. Through as yet, but only thanks to the frame of the goal and a magnificent save from Servants. Snelly, Gyökeres. Trossard heavily involved in these early stages. Furious decoy goes back for Gabriel. Now Saliba. Away to the right of Ben White. A wider position still, accompanied by a low-level booing. He's far still angry that he chose to leave here after the Hammers European glory. Eza. Still battling Calafiori, poking it on. Off and then firing high and wide.
Brilliant football. Really, really nicely stitched together. That's really efficient one touch. Give and go with Gyökeres and Calafiori. Just leaning back a little bit and it's lost to fade away from that post, but there's some really encouraging signs from Mikel Arteta early on the ends. Really good play and some opportunities on the end of it. It's not just knocking it around and keeping it in there, looking very dangerous.
Well, it's been a really good response for them to those debilitating defeats that they had at Bournemouth and City that saw their lead at the top ebb away. Won the last 2. The Champions League final. They've only conceded 1 goal in those 4 games that have so significantly strengthened their positions in both competitions. Certainly plenty of bobbles evident only a matter of weeks ago, but they seem to have evaporated. They're playing with a swagger again now of a team that believes that their destiny is coming.
Yeah. I agree with you. There's been some very high profile, high pressure games lately and they've come through them really well. I think that does wonders for any team. The guys as a group gives them major belief and confidence that whatever's out there against them, they can get it done and dusted.
Shanos, the target of the long Wan-Bissaka throw. Down by Rice. Losing out in the midfield, managed to force the go back, playing the that he was facing. chasing again. Possibly off the rest, according to referee Chris Kavanagh.
Just steps in and gives Bucharest a bit of a nudge, doesn't he, there in the back? Yeah, that's just heavy-handed, but he's played really well for West Ham making this boys. A revelation really for them at the back in many ways. They needed someone to really look like they want to defend and put their head on things and block shots coming towards the goal. He has done that so well for the team lately.
Waited with 4 goals at the other end as well, 3 in his last 3 Premier League matches. One in the league he's done so far. He still needs his first, which was at his old club Arsenal. Here's Rice. Bodies forward again. Very Chiesa. Afraid to unload from distance. Plenty to concern West Ham United supporters here through the opening 15 minutes. It's the makings at the moment of a long afternoon for them.
I think most of the West Ham fans coming in today would have expected the sort of start that Arsenal are putting on here. It's just whether West Ham can get through it. Get to half time. It doesn't matter about how much possession they've had. It's literally those numbers at the top. The time it's 0-0 or even just 1-0. Then I think they have a chance to get something out of the game.
Appreciating the industry that West Ham force Arsenal all the way back for Raya. Doesn't stay back there for long. Trump's not helping it forward, looking for your correction. Set one to Saka, who didn't quite keep it in. It's on milestone for Arteta today. He's played 100 games with Arsenal. Him, as a player and manager combined.
These sort of situations, West Ham have got to get right. Declan Rice can't hurl this ball. To take their goalkeepers, I mentioned sometimes under the biggest pressure, not always the most confident.
And Lewis Skelly trying to find a way round. It's good news, those. Very good.
Just stood his ground nicely, used his body strength there to protect him, see it out.
Thomas looking on for Castellanos. Gabriel. Forward by Raya. Continue to pick up a lot of the second ball in the midfield.
Yeah, so Mateus Fernandes so far just can't quite pick anything up, just bobbling around. Another good challenge there.
አርሰናል ኢቤታ በጣም በቃ ሊሸነፍ ነው ማለት ነው ዛሬ። አርሰናል ከቀዘቀዘ ነው ጎል የሚያገባው። ከተጫወተ ይጠፋበታል። አርሰናል እንደዚህ ኳስ ከተቆጣጠረ
15 years since the team went down with more than 37 points. The Hammers started the day on 36. Could end up needing more than 40 to survive. But famously, they were the last team to go down with a points tally in the 40s. Bottom line is if they lose today, the highest they can get is 42. Supposed to reach 40 tomorrow, so the pressure is really on.
First part of the job today, getting to that 20-minute mark. through that unscathed. Yes, there's been 1 or 2 scares. It's also very close on a couple of occasions. 20 minutes for West Ham is a tick. Haven't conceded.
It's 6 years ago the day that West Ham beat Arsenal in the FA Cup final. Since then, booking scored the only goal that day. Already got in at this stage of the game. Just holding on. That time they can still remain the last team inside the top flight to win the FA Cup. For us,
good in those situations, one-on-ones. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is always the type of guy that really sticks to his man, stays close, and tries to deny them. Just to judge there to just gone a little bit too far with that. So there's a chance for Declan Rice here to pick a dangerous delivery.
ilaalle moo seentee si humaa dhiiste daqiiqaa 6 qofa qabda bara amma daf ilaalime yoo si ba'e waan si ba'e fudhatta deemi ilaalime ati
reliance on set pieces has become much less prevalent as the season has gone on. Still such a potent weapon for them. Rice with a delivery, and it somehow wasn't bundled in by Saliba. Little fun. And of course, all kinds of problems. Another last-ditch Hammers clearance, and then Saliba was fought in.
Great ball in. So that's kind of Fury with the flick on. It just looked like William Saliba was just going to walk on there and knock that one into pretty much an empty net. Lovely little flick. Brilliant stop again there, Maverick. Just here, just hesitates for a split second there, William Saliba. Just allows you to skip back. Touched by that man.
Single-handedly at the moment. One-time centre half who really made the grade in North London. Especially with the header away. I'm just getting hit inside the defensive third. They will try and get out.
Somerville.
Heavy industry to win possession back, and he's continued his strong form here. This is not.
That's better. You can hear how encouraged West Ham fans are when they get in and around Arsenal, make those challenges. It's been right. Very full force of one of them there, but that's good play from West Ham now. Picking the right moment to really get about it here. He's presenting a Sullivan who wins that ball and then releases Castellanos in the end. Sullivan just a little too clumsy, unnecessarily pushes Trossard in the box and the pressure is relieved.
Chance for Mikel Arteta to get a message across to Victor Gyökeres. With Leandro Trossard as well. I think but the goal in the early stages for Arsenal.
Yeah. In terms of momentum, pace and intent in their game, Arsenal got it all right. It's the one that Ben White just rattled his feeling. It's just a little bit there sometimes when you go for one of those hard block tackles. Just feeling the inside of your knee, which I think is what's happened here. Hopefully that's not anything too serious, but look at his face, it's not particularly good, is it?
Particularly with the big games coming thick and fast. The Champions League final at the end of the month as well. Fury and Timber hasn't been completely written off for that game with the ankle problem that he has. then have the option of bringing Mosquera on and slotting him in at right back if Ben White can't continue. He's done a very solid job coming in and filling in for Timber in the last few weeks.
Yeah. I think Dorian Timber is their outstanding number one choice of right back.
White ምንም አይደለም ቢጎዳ
He has indeed just tweaked those knee ligaments a bit.
White ቢጎዳ ምንም አይደለም
It's certainly very unlucky from his point of view. Arsenal, as we know, they do have significant numbers of players that can come on and fit in pretty much everywhere. So that is going to be the end of the day for Ben White. Then Mr. Mosquera, you would think, will just drop into there.
we did it በዘነዘነ
Bukayo Saka said, "What are we doing, guys? What's happening?" I think they're just wanting to give Ben White as much chance as he possibly can to recover. It's interesting.
The player that is set to come on, which would almost certainly mean a move from Lewis Skelly back to full-back.
Yeah, I think so.
Immediately obvious to me which the full-backs will play at right back, correct? Which will play on the left. Much happier on the left. Switch, we'll find out shortly. Wan-Bissaka. Terrifying trying to get it in. And it was Diouf that had made the run from left wing back that came so close to getting there. Yeah.
Haji Malik Diouf
Spot there. That ball from Jarrod Bowen sort of takes a couple of deflections and very nearly drops with Diouf.
Arsenal will be able to make that change now and return to their full complement of 11 Ben White. The player that is going to be replaced here by Martin Supermendi.
Ben White ነው
It's very unlucky for Ben White. Just hope for his sake that's not too serious.
እንኳንም ራይስ አልሆነ
He's able to recover
ራይስ ቢሆን እንዴት ልትሆኑ ነው
like all the Arsenal boys, they've all worked so hard, particularly the Champions League final, a very special day. Not too far away for them. So we can still be part of it.
Another little work harder than Supermendi, who's come on for his 54th appearance of the season. Nobody else in the Gunners camp can match that.
Declan Rice has stayed in that right back position at the moment. He's been there ever since Ben White actually didn't get back up on his feet. See whether or not that's the way they're going to move forward. Lewis Skelly and Supermendi.
That's an interesting call. Why would you do that rather than bring Mosquera on?
It's an interesting one. It really is. And that just goes to show that, as we see Ben White input on there, it just shows you how important Declan Rice is. Such a key player for us. Prepared to put him in a right back position and see how he copes, see how he fares with Somerville, who's exceptionally quick too. But Mosquera is a very powerful athlete. I thought he would be phased by the pace of Somerville. Who's going to be playing in that position for a bit. We'll see. So,
Between him and Saka. Now from Miles Lewis Skelly. Mavropanos has had a fine start.
Mavropanos
First time right back this season. You might remember that game against Brighton back in December where we started there. Arsenal clock in that position. So we're looking at a 4-2. That's clearly West Ham's MO.
Unlucky. I actually think he did have the options actually arriving on the edge of the box, but you can see some of them, Bowen and Castellanos all get in there. Went for that big switch for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, just perhaps a fraction too soon there.
Crash. Guided away from him. Ball fall from Rice.
Just a little reflection, I think, the first thing just to place off in a bit. It's been a better little 5 minutes spell for West Ham. More of the ball in the last 10 minutes. They've enjoyed so far in the game. Again, a couple of challenges and a couple of turnovers in the middle of the park. All of a sudden, just ignites everyone in the stadium to really get behind them.
So far, all Rams have to do is field back passes. Shot to save. Comes to about that here with Wan-Bissaka.
See with his arm in the air there, Wan-Bissaka, but just, I think, settle that down first, take a touch, then get a yard, get it out his feet, try and deliver something.
This tackle between Mavropanos and Gyökeres, the Arsenal man bombing a free kick. His team have a throw instead.
Bounced so well, Gyökeres, didn't he, against Athletic midweek as well. I thought he was excellent. Really did. Really well, just trying to retain possession, hold it up, be a nuisance, be a threat. Certainly all of that the other night.
Yes, having good when it matters. That part of this game has really improved immeasurably. Mikel Arteta talking about it this week. The way that he stays, does extra time after training sessions, he's desperate to ask questions to improve that side of his play. As that has improved, his numbers have improved as well, with 9 goals in his last 12 Premier League games. In fact, no Premier League players scored more goals in 2026 than Victor Gyökeres. Now towards Supermendi. He's won a free kick. Castellanos back defending the player that called him, and a yellow card is shown.
Just got into a nice position there, Supermendi, into the wrong side of Castellanos, but bundles into him. He's almost trying to put the brakes on, I think, as he gets close.
ለራይስ አመቻቹለት።
Concedes a free kick. In a dangerous position, this is very much shooting
Rice.
territory.
Rice will score it.
It doesn't matter whether he's playing in central midfield or at right back. Declan Rice is going to fancy this. It's not the only potential candidate here. His body language when the free kick was given suggested that he thought this might be a potentially significant moment.
again, the beauty with the ball where it is, 10 yards from the edge of the box, you can hit it as hard as you like, you really can. Once you get that bit of dip on it, you know it's coming down in time.
Richie Hauser has conjured up so many important late season moments in his career. Provide one here. Steadfast. So check. Panos. First time touch from Judy. In turn from Somerville. Get away from Louis Skelly. And still 3 Somerville goes.
Sporna?
Really dive inside that knowing he was going wide. That's a sign of goal for West Ham.
Brilliant play initially, on that turn, and then the acceleration is frightening. Just loses foot in there, he just tries to commit Williamson even one way or t'other, and Arsenal's centre half just stands strong. And in the end, someone will just lose his footing and the chance goes away. But that's really nice play. Well, from him, was very dangerous.
I mentioned one earlier this year of scoring 4 straight games. Coming to this match with 1 goal in his last 8, which was the winner of Fulham, which can get proved extremely significant. Just West Ham's first shot, but the first touch in the opposition penalty area for a West Ham player. And that's Charlotte's beaten in the air by Saliba, but West Ham within a second of finding Somerville again. Walling to his task, getting the return ball, and then catching Gabriel.
Again, really good play. By the way there, the Jarrah Bowen and Somerville combined. Excellent challenge from Gabriel to step across there. I think he's got to go for this. He knows that. He's got to try and pitch that. He's operating at such a pace that he doesn't quite get there. He's always late in that. That is a yellow card challenge.
Samarville.
Gabriel back up on his feet. Certainly for a little spell now, West Ham up to speed. Reaching ever closer to half time, and as of yet, the plan is working. Let's truss up.
Saliba. Super ending. Down to the 11th for the last 2 games. Down to his workload as much as anything else. It's the experiment to play Louis Skelly in central midfield, which has proved so successful. Lighted ball over the top of Saka, but it's not good. That flurry of earning opportunities. Yes, tennis man hitting the post. Goalkeeper made important save. Mavropanos with 2 good blocks, but it's quarter of an hour since their last attempt on target.
I just don't know how long you can keep Declan Rice out in the middle of the park in a big game. A game you really need to win, where he's such an influence on the team. yes, he can go and do the job of right back, and he can keep an eye on Somerville as best he can, etc., etc. But such an influence on the team driving from the middle of the park. Again, Mikel Arteta can change it, he can swap it around. He has got, Lewis Kelly can go and play, or Calafiori can switch to a right back position, I'm sure, and they can cope. Then you get him back in there with Zubimendi. I'm sure it'll be that much longer before we see Arsenal revert to that.
So he's going to be able to get back to his feet, but has stayed down. Moment of Gunner's concern.
Yeah, that's a bit of a classy challenge as well from Disasi there.
Disasi.
Stretching a little bit to get to that one. But look, listen, West Ham's futures are on the line here. Well, these boys want to be playing Premier League football next year if they don't give absolutely everything today. So I don't blame them for wanting to really get stuck in and try and unsettle Arsenal as much and as often as they can. Got to try and do that.
This is the situation at the bottom. If it were to stay this way, West Ham, as you can see, would be level on points with Spurs. Their goal difference much worse, 10 points. And at this stage of the season, that's hugely significant. Spurs having a game in hand as well. The game had started though, Hammers fans would have bitten your hand off for a point in this one, and then hoping that the job could be done further down the line. Both West Ham and Spurs still got to play Leeds at home. Hammers also have this game and a trip to Newcastle. Spurs go to Chelsea and they host Everton. Fernandes. Sort of lost momentum over the last 10-15 minutes or so. I don't think that's any coincidence that it's come since that Ben White injury, which is to see this change of role for Declan Rice. Had an attempt on target from open play since the 13th minute. Challenges continuing to fly in. It's Thomas Sobchak who is testing his innocence here. It's perpetrator.
The ball's bouncing around, it's there to be won. You expect your central midfield players to go in there after it. I do think Chris Kavanagh has a tendency to blow that whistle and hit it too quickly sometimes. There's good pressure. He feels that Sobchak maybe went through Lewis Kelly. I'm not so sure he actually does there. Just misses the ball a little bit with his lead foot, but some good pressure, much better from West Ham after the initial 20 odd minutes. It was all Arsenal. They could have gone in front. I think the home team have actually competed very well, created that much, but certainly in and around the game now.
Trossard, who had those excellent early moments. Wan-Bissaka. Little consequence ultimately.
Actually, I think just one too many there from Trossard. He'd done really well. Getting onto his right foot. The ball went chopped back onto the left. Stand did well to deal with it.
Saka up against Juve. Almost able to set up Calafiori. coming in sweeping. Not sure that he judged the bounce well. Wan-Bissaka and strongly on Calafiori. Strongly and fairly. Arteta far from convinced. Wan-Bissaka continuing his run. Standing save, Castellanos. Forcing Myers, let's go. Excellent counter attack from West Ham that have been real controversy. Had they scored from that? Brilliant. Terrific ball in from Wan-Bissaka. I love the way Castellanos throws himself at that. That is flying in the corner. I mean, he's met that beautifully. It's a great stop. David Ryan adjusts and gets that big right hand on it. But oh, I love that fast attack-minded intent that West Ham showed there. It's a great header.
Somerville.
Flick of the head followed by a right shake of the head from Tati Castellanos. West Ham have their first corner. And it comes in the first of 3 added minutes.
3 minutes added.
They're coming out, got something on it. Back in from Fernandez. Where's he going to bounce?
Aye.
Get anything on it. Just didn't adjust his feet quick enough. Put back in by Matheus Fernandez just there. Difficult one, of course. So many bodies in and around the ball. Tries to flick towards the goal and just doesn't make strong enough contact. No need to panic from an Arsenal point of view. Far from it. They've shown in that opening 20 minutes they can create chances, and I think with this Arsenal team they can always produce a moment. Got some special players out there, Saka and Eza. Trossard's always got that ability to think to find the goals, so they'll just keep playing and plugging away. But West Ham have last 20 minutes have got their tactics spot on.
Up.
Central area to pick up possession, but player stopped. Let it go. Then. Got possession of the ball. Challenge. Just encourage people to get back up off the ground a little bit quicker. If you let the game go a little more, let it breathe.
Let them breathe. Let them breathe. Let them breathe. Let them breathe. Let them breathe. Let them breathe. Let them breathe. Let them breathe. Let them breathe. Let them breathe. Let them breathe. Let them breathe.
Free kick. Arsenal keeping a very high back line.
Is it? Allaka.
Tension mounting. Both goalkeepers have been forced into excellent saves. Less Hermanson denying Leandro Trossard, who hit the post moments later. Castellanos is flying header brilliantly tipped away by David.
First half in the level.
Ben White, which has seen Declan Rice move to right back, has proved extremely significant. Arsenal, to an extent, have lost their way as that half has gone on. Neither side has lost parity, though. It's West Ham 0, Arsenal 0.
Yeah, hotting up here at the London Stadium in a game both think they must win, neither is winning. Arsenal starting off the stronger. They were the ones with the opportunities in front of goal, but were denied. But West Ham finished the stronger. And they asked a question or two of Mikel Arteta's team. Just like Guinness.
It is said that this is a game of titles and trophies, rhythm and ritual, heartbreak and hope, and
somehow makes a comeback. It's nice. It's beautiful, ridiculous. Okay, you don't just watch it, talk about it. You feel it. Today we will explore
3 minutes ከ25 ይመለስ። እስከዛ ላይክ እናድርግ፣ እንለይክ፣ እንሸርር፣ እንለይክ፣ እንሸርር። እንለይክ፣ እንሸይር፣ እንለይክ፣ እንሸይር፣ እንለይክ፣ እንሸይር፣ እንሸይር፣ እንለይክ።
It's not over for cities. Cities are still alive. They are come back to the title race again. 3-0 to Brain.
ይርግብ ይርግብ አሞራ፣ ይርግብ አሞራ ከወንድሜ ጋራ፣ ይርግብ አሞራ፣ ይርግብ አሞራ፣ ይርግብ 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 ሽው ሽው፣ ጀግና የወለድሽው፣ ይርግብ ሽው ሽው፣ ይርግብ ሽው ሽው፣ ይርግብ 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 አሞራ ከአመዬ ጋራ፣ ይርግብ አሞራ፣ ይርግብ 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 ሽው ሽው፣ ይርግብ ሽው ሽው፣ ጀግና የወለድሽው። ግባ ደቂቃ እንደዚህ 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 ሙሬ ሙሬ ተንቻራ የቆሰር ለታቴ ለሜዱፌ ተንዚላ ያዕቆብ ያወያቄ አብዘይዚ ዝክረሬ From there I have almost okay, yes, 4 minutes. So we have to be 10 minutes something. So 5-6 minutes left. 5 minutes left. Arsenal, 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 በልተናል 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 6 times. So thank you. وعليكم السلام. Jennifer, 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 Jennifer. Man, yeah, Jennifer, yeah, Jennifer, yeah, Jennifer, yeah, ማን ይበለዋል ማን ይበለዋል hala godija
የሆነ በኦሮምኛ የሆነ ነገር በይሽ
ኦሮምኛ
እሺ
ኦሮምኛ ሰንታሽ አሰላሙ አለይኩም ወራህመቱላሂ ወበረካቱ ጋማለ ለስጋ ደግሞ ወንድማችን አብዲ እና እኔ የምትወዱ ሁለት ቁጥር ስለምትወዱ ቁጥር ትወዱ ደግሞ 3 ቁጥር የማንደው
ይቻላል ማለት ነው ሌላ እሺ እሱን ከኔ ጋር ታውቃለህ ያለ ፍሬንድ እንደሆነ ታውቃለህ እሱ ዛሬ ስላገኘሽ
በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል ስላገኘሁ እንወዳለን ጓደኛ መጣሽ
እና በጣም ሰው ማክበር ሰው ነገር ያሳልፋል ዛሬ እንዴት አከሰለኝ
አሪፍ ምን ነው ሸዋ እሺ አሁን ወደ ኳስ
should be pretty comfortable in that left back position. Of course, Declan Rice now back in the position that he's best suited to.
Yesterday, Manchester City came out for the second half of their match at home to Brentford, still at 0-0. Nervous tension beginning to emanate around the Etihad.
Wan-Bissaka.
Ease that tension, and City in turn eased to victory. Arsenal hoping.
Wan-Bissaka tasakka. Bukayo Isakam. Wan-Bissaka tasakka.
More importantly than anything else, Jim, in that spell, when one went off, Declan moved into that right back position. It's the moment that was the catalyst, if you like, when West Ham really started to up the pressure and get those challenges in and start to turn the game round in the other direction a bit. That's what Arsenal lost during that change. So again, they're more than capable of rediscovering where they were at the very start of the game. That's exactly where they've got to get back to.
In the second half of that first half, they actually have more touches of the ball inside the opposition penalty area than Arsenal. Just dropping back between the two Arsenal centre halves now, as Lewis is doing the first half. Saka. Supermendi. Confirmation, incidentally, from downstairs that it was purely a tactical change, the withdrawal of Calafiori at half-time, as we expected. It's wonderful moments, but without the game by the scruff of the neck as yet. Supermendi getting it forward, but not past his Asik. Saka made a good early run up that West Ham United right at the top of your picture. And only finds it now. Tolliver. Mavropanos. Taken by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Bowen Castellanos. And the follow-up is straight. And David Raya and Jared Bowen just couldn't get a hold of it as he wanted.
Lucky, they look dangerous, don't they, West Ham, when they saw that first touch out and make that little yard of space around the edge of the box. Positive run there from Jared Bowen. Nice initial link up.
Calafiori.
Calafiori, but I understand that Ben White now has a brace on his knee, which will be a concern to say the least.
Yeah, cautionary as well at this stage. Obviously, that's what usually happens, just to isolate any injury and take the weight off him, the stress off him. And scan him, no doubt, tomorrow and get a full update where that is. Fingers crossed for him. I think you're right, Jim. We just said about Eze. He's now got to start really becoming an influence in this second half. He's got the talent. He's got to try and create that little bit of space, get in behind Souček. Matías Fernandez, who's a real competitor in there. He likes to see Eze in front of him and he'll go and rush him and close him down. So Eze's got to be elusive and get in those little clever pockets of space.
Stop.
5 minutes. I'm bound.
Have caused problems for Arsenal in the recent past, but certainly in the Emirates rather than here, because Gunners have got 11 goals in their last two visits to this ground. striving for their first today. Clock will be ticking down pretty quickly for them.
Haji Malik Diouf. Malik Haji Diouf. Ay, Haji Malik Diouf.
Trossard. Getting forward, Mascara.
Saka.
Right back in behind the Bukayo Saka. Now Rice. Mascara again. Saka. Trying his luck. The West Ham United supporters. Yeah.
Just got a little bit of space there for Bukayo Saka. So that left leg, but by his standards, that's poor effort.
Had a good record this season against the teams at the top of the table.
Disasi.
More than 19 games against the sides who started the weekend in the top half. Home win here against Everton. Celebrated about Arteta's 500th Arsenal game for him today so far.
500.
Compared to West Ham, it's probably not that run that's dividing their season. It's more the fact that they've lost the 5 of the other 6 in the bottom 7 that is, at the moment, things look decidedly ominous. So undoubtedly would be a point game for them, though. Probably for Arsenal. Observers looking at the situation at the table. What's still to come for them and Manchester City, and the difference between a point and 3 here is the difference between winning and not winning the league. It's clear at the moment. It's this way. City win midweek, back to the top with 2 games to go. Eza. Some persistence. Saka wrapping his foot around it. Just going out of play for either a corner or a throw, and then winning a free kick from Saka. It's
It's a good play. It's unlucky for Saka there actually with the cross. Well there to kind of get that, stand that one up. It's well defended and then really good play from Juve there, keeping that in and then gets his body in the way. Buys that foul and relieves all the pressure. So Arsenal mustn't get frustrated with this. The game becomes
ሰዓት አላቸው ምንድነው የምን ፍራስትሬት ነው? 38 minutes, 47 minutes.
without perhaps as much control, the game becomes a scrappy one. So plenty of time yet.
not that long ago. Arsenal that match from home to Everton, which wasn't dissimilar in many ways. It felt like one that they really had to win. This is part of the handball shout there. Max down and on. So one up scored the other in the last 2 minutes. Janos heard the whistle. It's gone out of play. Nicely done. Great touch, yeah. A chance to get a second touch though by forcing a mending pass.
It's in a great position there actually. The bears up and ball inside was perfect. And that's a pretty routine ball for someone like Subimendi who's just overhit it.
thought of Castellanos. Scara. A moment to execute that decisive pass. Yes, the lines for Saka, who lets fly.
Again on the left foot. Goes Saka. Good ring target. The goalkeeper work. Quite getting on out his feet enough, really. Just grab down. That's it. Disguise it.
Still only had 2 shots on target Arsenal, like their hosts. Having to restrict Arsenal players are able to take shots from 25 yards. His nerves.
Arsenal was Skelly there. Initially a nice control, ball back to his goalie, and then made the angle to get it back. Well played. Kind of back where we are, where we were, sorry, at the start of the first half, aren't we? It's Arsenal doing the probing and the teasing. So can't see what juice that is. That's the last thing they want to do is give away corners.
Not a juice. All left foot. And with his right, got it away from Saka, but it's a cheap concession of a corner. Arsenal remember scored 17 goals from corners this season.
That's a good chance for Arsenal.
Conceded 15, which is been the worst in the division. So much for the opening hour. Restricted number of opportunities that Arsenal have been able to fashion from this kind of area. It's only the third quarter, the first and the second half. It's a familiar setup with a quartet of Arsenal players back outside the 6-yard box. They'll make their ways in now. Sam repelled the threat, at least initially. Back from Trossard, Saka again. Just Belgium to try and deliver. Gets it onto his left foot, and he can deliver. And Rapana stopped the first time with an important touch to get it away. Nicely done by Eza. Stood up towards Subamendi, who was waiting. So too is Gabriel. Comes out for Saka, who can't get a shot in. Play will go on. The West Ham player likes stricken. Saka's latest delivery repelled by Socek.
Defended West Ham and cleared their lines, but each time only to an Arsenal player.
From Declan Rice, and we've now played an hour, Andy. Just half an hour for Arsenal to find the breakthrough they so desperately need.
Yeah, lots of movement below us. I don't think another change will be very far away until he's got, he's always got so many options that he can turn to on the bench, Mikel Arteta.
those options today, including Kai Havertz again, who has missed out in recent games. Arsenal supporters inevitably a little battle scarred by what has happened in matches late on in previous campaigns. I'm desperately hoping that the team isn't. Situation a test of resolve as well as ability. Supermendi. Saka. Sight us from distance. Attempt this time. Oscar. One half to another. It's a good ball from Gabriel there. Need to try and find that delivery a little bit more. I think Arsenal in behind Suchek and Fernandes to Eze or somebody else even.
Mavropanos, በቀይ በአማራ
Again, let's get those stats back up. But it feels like it's been 20 minutes again. But without those great situations that Arsenal managed to calm out in that first half spell.
Fernandes far from happy that another free kick has gone Arsenal's way, particularly given the area of the pitch in which the alleged infringement took place.
He has stepped across and caught Declan Rice there. I think he can have too many complaints about that. Matthias Fernandes is frustrated, but Declan Rice wisely hits the floor after that bit of contact. Well, he's probably going to get this free kick. Situation.
ይገባል 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 ጠብቁ ቅርብ ነው በጣም ቅርብ ነው በጣም ቅርብ ነው
It's the latter, firing deep, heading back in, whistle's gone. It's bravely the Western. Deeper run from Gabriel there. It's just that little bit of blocking and just a little knock on Thomas Suchek there. As soon as he went down, he's coming up, the whistle straight away. Relief from the home support when that whistle went.
አራዳ
Also feel that they have a chance of being able to turn 1 point into 3 here, and Pablo is receiving his final instructions. Back 3 has worked well for them today.
Haji
Defensive capacity. They did an awful lot. Some of them. Fernandes. It's Jared Bowen on the turn and blocked. Back out to him. Mavropanos. Sassy for Juice. The switch of play just takes the galloping juice. give West Ham the opportunity to make the change. It's just going to be a straight swap up front.
Bueno.
Shanos, who came closer than anyone in claret and blue with that outstanding diving header late in the first half. He's going to be replaced by Pablo, who's still waiting for his first West Ham United goal. Some time for it to arrive.
Yeah, it certainly would. It was a great effort from Castellanos in the first half with his head. Brilliant football. Great cross from Wan-Bissaka, and the centre forward headed it beautifully. Can Pablo get on the end of something in the box, something similar?
Odegaard. Man liota easy way Saka easy.
Going to be followed by the arrival of Odegaard and Kai Havertz. Comes back in the Arsenal matchday squad today after injury.
Easy Lalko.
Energy Hezza is the first player.
23 minutes to go.
And Martin Subamendi is coming off as well. He only came on after 28 minutes.
Looking at that, do you need two sitters now, Arsenal? In a game you've got to, obviously they don't want to get beat, but they really want to try and win. Don't necessarily need Rice and Subamendi. Havertz and Martin Odegaard to try and get a bit of room, get a bit of space, get Trossard and Bukayo Saka involved that little bit more. See too much of Victor Joffers in the second half. To try and add now a bit more in 10 minutes towards their forward play.
Gyökeres.
He doesn't want to turn around, he knows what's coming.
And again, that's, I think, a really unnecessary free kick to give away. Almost like he was happy there. Todibo to just barge Gyökeres to the floor. You keep conceding free kicks. Someone like Declan Rice, whose delivery is usually pretty good, you keep giving him a chance to find someone in there. I'm telling you, eventually he will.
Now into the final quarter of the game.
See that West Ham line below the penalty spot there. They're going to drop a yard closer to the 6-yard line as well. Any touch towards the goal here, Manson's got big problems.
Rice get the delivery right. Very nearly. Big appeals. Then the effort cleared off the line. Potential penalty is being checked by the VAR. I think it was Mavropanos again who was in the right place just to be able to kick the ball away.
ተረጋጉ እንጂ እንጂ
It's Trossard. He's now been fouled, but there will be a hiatus whilst they have a look at a potential handball by Pablo.
He's laying on the floor. The ball wobbles in towards his hands. I don't think Pablo even knows where the ball is. Look, he's laying on the floor. Yeah, you can't give a penalty for that. I don't care if it's your hand there or not. He's got no idea really where the ball is. Laying on the floor, the ball just trundles up and hits him on the arm. That's not the opposite for that.
Well, Odegaard and Jared Bowen, the two captains, both in consultation with Chris Kavanagh, the decision just being explained to them that it was deemed that the hand was in a natural position. I think it's very hard to argue with that. No penalty.
Trossard saying he grabbed the ball on the ground. Let's have another look. He certainly knows it's in his hand, and then he's took him away because he's panicking there, but initially I don't believe he knows where that is. I don't think that's a penalty.
It's like a fight with his hand in the sweet jar there, wasn't it? Nothing to do with me.
ምን ብሎ ነው የሚያቋርጠው?
This Arsenal free kick not short. Just getting it back. The final 20 now for Arsenal.
Boy.
Brought down by Bowen. Good ball from him to release Juve. So only got Pablo in the middle and try and find him. Defending good enough to make sure that he couldn't.
West Ham really Declan Rice made that challenge. The Furious haven't got a corner. Pablo tries to get across the front of him. Let's have another look here. It looks like Declan Rice, I think, doesn't it? Make contact with that. Can understand their frustration. Good brain down that left side once more. Juve never gets the chance. He's always in space down that left-hand side.
The flag is staying in. Here's Mavropanos the Reddit. It's looking long for Pablo. Portuguese football for Gil Vicente, a flood of goals. That's some work from at West Ham so far. It's his story to be written today. Bowen. So check with the ball in. Sassy urged to shoot from 40 yards.
Quite wisely decided not to there.
Going down. Defended by Saliba.
Salah satu dekat
On
kan.
the West Ham United bench. The fourth official getting there. One near foot of the line. Again from Disaster. Shots in this second half for West Ham than Arsenal, who haven't been able to get themselves into the positions like they did early on in the game. Might they now? Sacks ball in. Off target by Victor Gyökeres.
Lucky, I think Arsenal got to try and do a little bit more of that, taking people on in the wide areas. Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Juve have stuck to their task manfully in that respect. As much as you can, particularly Bukayo Saka, just that bit quicker. A bit more to try and hit something else. Another opportunity to knock a miss and put his head on.
Language that speaks volumes.
And look, as much as they want to win this game today, they can. To do is get deep. It goes without saying they can't afford to concede, but they've got to keep trying to push.
Trossard. Rice. Oh, Saka! Touch let him down, actually. Academic in the end because the flag came up.
Great spot though from Declan Rice. Love the ball. Really good ball. Saka just steps in behind you. It's a really good spot then.
Himself into some good positions.
Yes, indeed. Needed more bodies in the box there.
Getting it back. Second getting back again.
Karena mahal deh.
You're leaving it for Bowen.
Mahal dah sekacau dapat.
Just had to make sure. It's another West Ham United corner.
Play actually in the end. Aaron Wan-Bissaka initially getting out to Jarrod Bowen, and even though that one's not finding a West Ham shirt, David Raya can't afford to let that go. He's got to do something about it. Has to tip it over the bar for the corner.
Mana ni gagal macam.
Owen's delivery, good goalkeeping again by
ሸፋፋ
towards Stewart again onto his right foot, so going to play it safe. Saka for Fernandes.
I think he's played well, Fernandes. He's been aggressive and midway through that first half, I think he's come on to a really good game for West Ham.
Somerville just opens up for him for a moment. The else header away. Turned by Souček in towards Pablo. Sam's turn to try and apply some significant pressure.
ሩጫ ነው ይሄ
Saka was the result.
I don't think there's any doubt there. I think Bukayo Saka knew straight away he was going to get a yellow card for that one. There's a little flick out there. Somerville is always going to result in him getting a card.
Nerves in the away end, growing belief in the rest of the stadium. Falling, not what he intended. Between 1.3 at the top of the table is enormous. Situation at the bottom. West Ham could win this. They back out of the bottom three ahead of Spurs game with Leeds tomorrow. Could make all the difference for them as well. Souček coming onto this. Fernandes getting it back. Quarter moments.
አፈር ብላ ወይኔ ወይኔ ማትረባ
Superb reactions from David Raya. Relief etched across the face of Mikel Arteta. Another West Ham United corner, a very congested 6-yard box. Floated in, back from Souček. Whereas time to take a touch inside his own penalty area before blasting it away.
What a moment that was. Just incredible.
የአሁኑን ያላገባችሁ ምንም አታገቡም። ሚስታ እንደውም ይገባባቸዋል። ጠብቁ አሁን ይገባባቸው። ሳመርቬል ቢጫ
Gets a yellow card. Yeah, I think there's one there that he knows Mosquera's going to have to take that one as well. It's really good skill there from Somerville. Again, now he's got to make sure that every decision he makes is a good one.
ማዲው ከሳካሪዮታ
Final Arsenal change sees Bukayo Saka replaced by Noni Madueke.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he's on a yellow card, I think that's going to make a change. He wants to adjust the front line. Arteta, that's probably, he wouldn't ordinarily ever do that, but with him on a yellow, maybe feels he's got to.
Well, that front three of Saka, Gyökeres and Trossard been really successful this season. Arsenal have won 11 out of 12 Premier League matches when those three have started. And sending this latest free kick in here. It's come off the top of Mavropanos' head. It's only about Gar keeping it alive. 10 minutes to go. Still 0-0, but only thanks to this epic save.
ወይኔ አንተ ሸፋፋ
He takes a lovely touch. Look, head up. He's having a look. Damn it. He makes himself as big and as wide as he possibly can. What a save.
Arsenal 3 points clear as it stands right now. Their goal difference only one better significantly. City have scored more goals than Arsenal. That is why, if this stays 0-0, 1-0 win for Manchester City would take them back to the top on Wednesday against Crystal Palace. Here's Noni Madueke, first chance for him to shine. Long cross, dealt with easily by Leeds, whose West Ham United side still in the bottom three, but on goal difference alone at the moment.
Nice run from Madueke. Under the goalkeeper there, he just pinched the yard off his line. He anticipated where that ball was going to arrive and was there just to comfortably deal with it.
It's making a run forward here off the ball, found by Madueke. Odegaard in for Kai Havertz, who's pulled it back.
Gol.
Defending one-handedly, so check clears.
Great pass from Odegaard.
አርሰናል ገባ።
Find that Arsenal shirt when he tucked it back there.
አርሰናል ገባ።
Odegaard again.
አርሰናል ገባ። አርሰናል ገባ መሰለኝ።
And that goal underlines that this could well be Arsenal's season.
Oh my god.
Those surprises that Leandro Trossard gets, a very important goal for his team. Shaking the head from Thomas Suchet, Nuno's devastated, as you can imagine. This guy just always seems to be in and around him when that ball arrives at a big moment. He's just got that great knack, that great feel. Look at him on the edge of the box, just waiting, praying that it comes his way. He hits it, it looks like there's a deflection. I'm not sure who it hits. This angle will show us. Does it just get a little bit of Thomas Suchet that throws himself here? Maybe it does, just off his
Wait,
calf,
you
something
what
on the back of his boot. But Mikel Arteta, what a celebration for him. Because moments ago his team could have been one down. Now they are one up. Absolutely in the box seat again.
A game of moments rather than genuine quality. David Raya with an enormous save. Leandro Trossard with a goal. Scored here in each of the last 3 seasons. And that goal, as it stands, takes Arsenal 5 points clear at the top. It keeps their fate in their own hands. West Ham bring Callum Wilson on. They are in desperate trouble now, chasing an equalising goal. Changing the shape, back to a back 4. Will they be able to find an equaliser?
Good word there, Miles Lewis getting track in the run. The key for Arsenal. They've been immense defensively all season. Now they really need to be what's left in this game, 5 minutes plus whatever the referee wants to add.
An enormous moment for Arsenal. A horrible moment as far as West Ham United are concerned. But now, a point adrift of safety, having played a game more than Spurs. If it stays this way, Palace, Forest and Leeds will all be mathematically safe. Flashpoint here, the experienced old heads trying to calm things down.
It's not even okay there getting involved. Put your hands on anybody. Give anybody any sort of reason. Might get a card here, by the way, came for that. Everybody, all the Arsenal boys telling him to calm down.
Years without a major trophy. That one goal will feel to Arsenal fans as though it's just brought it a heck of a lot closer. Jokeres, Tony Bowes, you can see his players to be all but squaring up to each other. More words. Carlos with the ball forward. Stops the game. Check the referee cabinet. We've seen them being used by them.
So what happened there? I don't know why the game stopped.
ኳሱ ያለው በሌላ ቦታ ምን ለመሆን የሚያስቆመው?
Red card is shown to, I think it's Rui Barbosa, who's been dismissed. West Ham United coaching staff. Just being led away. Dismissed for dissent. Tempers. Running high. Arsenal flying high. Put it towards Wilson. And Shoni Saliba for kicking the ball away and delaying the restart.
ደቂቃ አልቋል። አትፎባካችሁ ከዚህ በኋላ ያንን ጎል ያላገባ ማን ነው? ምን ነው ያገባል? አትፎ አርሰናል ምንም መፍራት አያስፈልግም። በቃ አሸንፋችኋል ኦልሬዲ። ምን አድርግ ነው ወደኛ ኔትወርክ ነው እንዴ?
everybody. Arsenal are a side whose success this season has been underpinned by a very solid defensive performance, a stack of clean sheets. David Ryan playing more than a part in that, and a massive part in set to be a 1-0 win today.
What a stop that was. What an incredible bit of work that is. To make sure that he just throws his right leg out at the very last split second to get that all-important block on that. Fernandez would have thought he scored. He thinks he's about to give his team the lead. And the margins, that going in and not going in, is massive for both teams.
Massive for both of these teams, massive for Manchester City and for Spurs as well. Sending it forward. Sochet. Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Bowen.
Jared Bowen. Well blocked by Lewis Scanning.
Yeah, very well blocked. Stop those crosses coming in now. Arsenal get tied to people, block those balls being delivered.
Gyökeres given something to chase here. Hermanson coming out. Convincing, but that will do for West Ham. Sochet. Two and a half minutes of added time to go. Mavropanos is forward. Shot on the turn, deflects away, could have gone anywhere. Wilson's ever blocked for a corner.
I think Callum Wilson feels this one's going in. Might well have been right. Let's have a look. Well, it's certainly on target, but combination there of Kai Havertz and those surprises, Gabriel getting something in the way. Really good defending.
Ladies calling goal kick. For it through the hands of his opposite number, cleared off the line, but we thought, did it hit an arm? It's gone in.
Good.
What a
Well, there's an arm above it across his throat, in fairness, from Pablo. But this is going to take some checking. This is a massive call. Huge call. It's just whether that arm from Pablo is really preventing David Raya from getting it. In the end, in the last little throws of that, he goes down quite easily when he knows he can't get it.
ፋውል ተባለ። ፋውል ተብሎ ፋውል ተባለ።
Let's see what he's got to say.
After review, Westham number 19 commits a foul on the goalkeeper. 5 minutes direct free kick.
It's disallowed.
disallowed.
That is a decision that David Raya there.
ምን ለመሆን ያዘ?
Just got hold of that forearm. It's just got hold of that and hanging on to it.
Just when they thought they were going to be offered some salvation, West Ham, it's when Manchester City fans would have thought that was the moment that could potentially propel them back towards favouritism in this title race. Goal disallowed. Another poor ball forward. From the free kick, Savage's got to try and get it to stick somewhere in Arsenal territory.
ያስቸገረኝ ነው በጣም